out at old Building 64, which I know a bunch of y'all recognize that, and probably helped move the mainframe from 64A to 64A and then downtown from 64A. So back then, 64A was built as a purpose-built data center, right? And now here we are again, talking about doing that same thing at Southern Company. So you've seen a lot, haven't you, Ricky?
Yeah.
Ricky started with a customer accounting management application development group, is that right? Yeah, so that was back in, I guess, 79, you really got started with that. And then spent some time with the network group. I know you worked a lot with CK back then. Well, throughout your career, really. CK was the guy that could find the problem no matter where it was. Little stint in client services, that lasted about a day or two.
I had to explain to him I was in the wrong group.
Then moved over and worked in systems, and finally in Host Systems, where you've taken, you've written APIs to communicate between systems before we even knew what client server was, right? Cutting ground.
Yeah, we did some things that we couldn't buy software for at the time. There was a day where the computers didn't talk to each other. And everybody was happy, but they were isolated to their own data, to their own computer. But computer-to-computer communication did not exist for many, many years. But yeah, I got involved with Don Harper, and we did some pioneering, so to speak.
A lot of stuff Southern Company could probably have some great IP for if it was ever brought up. But really just great work, pioneering work. And I've seen many times the users pick up the phone and call Ricky. He's the guy that finds the bug in the closet yourself. He helped us implement CSS when that one came along, and here we are 20-something years later, right? So, thank you.
Appreciate it.
An awesome run. I know I met you right after I started with Southern Company 22 years ago, and have enjoyed working with you in many capacities. So, thank you. I wanted to present you a plaque from Southern Company. See, I have to put my glasses on, or I can't even read it. So Southern Company, presented to Ricky Reagan upon the occasion of your retirement from Southern Company Services, does hereby express its appreciation for 42 years, June of 2020. So,
Yay, Ricky! I appreciate that.
Yep. Do you want to say some words, or?
I do. Let me get my notes.
The reason everybody gets a hold of Rick is he has every email that has ever been sent to him.
Well, that's probably really the truth, legally or illegally these days.
Not to do with a 50.
Right. So we're just keeping this running, all right? I just want to thank you guys for being here today. You're here today because you wanted to come. Before the pandemic, many times they did retirement, and it'd be in the building on another floor, so there was a lot more people, a lot more traffic, and so forth. But I'd always felt like that when I got ready to retire, I wanted to have a nice place with some good food for the guys I work so close with. And I don't like the super big crowds, but anyway, I know a lot of y'all went to a lot of trouble to be here today, and I appreciate that. Some of you long distances and traffic, put up with all that, but again, I want to thank you guys for being here so much. Some of you, I've already introduced my family, but I want my family to stand, each family, and I'm going to reintroduce some of y'all that may not have been up earlier. I'll start with Jason. This is Jason, my oldest son, and Candy, and then their daughter, Hannah. She is our oldest grandchild. She's the one that made us become grandparents the first time. We'll not forget that day when she was born. I thought, golly, we got grandparents. But thank y'all. And then next, Kevin and Shonda. Kevin had to go back to the hospital. He was in the middle of some casework. But Shonda, Ethan, and Ava. All right, that's the others. But anyway, then Chris and Pam and Durham and little Henry. How you like your shirt? He dressed like Papa today. And now, in my family, you guys have met Keely. She's my current supervisor, and she is a great supervisor. If you can't work for her, you may as well just go home. But she really takes care of us. We get the job done, she takes care of us too. Let's see. What I want to do now is, I've got a number of guests here. Some of these are friends and retirees. And you ain't got to stand, just raise your hand, I'll call your name, and I just want to introduce you guys. I want my family to know who I work with. And I want to start with, and if I miss anybody, y'all please raise your hand, all right? CK, I'm gonna let CK raise his hand. Met CK. He's a little on the shy side. He's my buddy up. But he's my buddy. He was the one we could always go to when the going got rough and people couldn't figure things out and scratching their head. I said, let's go get CK. He can help us isolate this problem. It may take him a few minutes. Y'all just leave him alone. Let him work. But when he comes back to you can take it to the bank, okay? Just the way he is. Then we got Randy Sipsey. Randy is the guy that runs our data centers. You know, he knows all about the power, and all the computers, and all the air conditioning. He has a great responsibility. I mean, right now, if something happened to one of the air conditions, 241 downtown or Birmingham, they'd be calling him, and he'd be having to get people in to help. Randy's our facilities guy. He's always there to help us when we install a new mainframe. He's the guy. Then John McDaniel, retiree. John's been around since birth too. But he and several guys take care of all our data, protect our data, make backups of our data, and allow us to protect all of our customer data. And they're the ones that can get the job done for us, any kind of data work. John's enjoying a retiree life now. And then, let's see, Bill Bryan. There he is, that's my center. He's really, he was a Henry County guy, and I think he's mostly Panama City Beach now. He's down there. His wife went down there first, got a job down there. And, so Bill also worked with John on a lot of the data support. He's the guy right now that's protecting our data, making sure we got clean runs for all of it. So very important position there with Bill. And then we've got Callie. Callie Garcia. She is trouble. Now Callie's a good friend of mine. She did a lot of taking care of a lot of our changes at work, keeping up with our network, keeping up with our computers and their names and assigning addresses to her, but she was one that you could always count on, but she was a good friend. So we're glad about that. Let's see. Sort of got these a little bit out of order. James not here. And you guys? He didn't make it.
He's a big
I'm probably gonna miss somebody here. Y'all wait till I miss you in a minute. All right. Mike Maxson. With Mike.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Hey,
All
how are
right. All right. Mike's a great guy. He and some others manage our databases, again, our customer accounting system. And they got millions and millions of records to keep up with and protect our data, but they have a very important job too. Mike, it's good to have you with us today.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here, Ricky.
And then, where's SK? Kay is a retiree also. And she also helps take care of the database stuff, the customer accounting system. And Kay, I'm glad you can make it today too. And then right beside her, another troublemaker, Grant. This is Grant Morster. Now, Grant's really a towel man. Okay, he really loves laying towel. But he and I have a lot of stories about laying towel. So we enjoy talking about that. But Grant's a great guy to have on the system to protect all your databases. So then I'm going to get to my group in just a minute. Let's see. We'll get over. All right, Lee Cronin. I'm gonna get Lee. I'm gonna get my businessman. Lee works in what we call our operations center. He's done a little bit of everything in there. He's one of the guys you really can't replace. He has so much knowledge across all our systems. He can work in most any group. He gives you a little static sometimes, but he gets past it. He's good. Okay. All right, now, I would like the group that I work with to please stand. If you're in my group, Host Systems, you would stand just for a moment.
It's actually Keely's group, not your group.
Hey, Grant, Jim.
Of course, Keith also, this is Chris. Chris is my sidekick at work. He and I support the same software and applications. And if he's not around, they come to me. If I'm not around, they go to him. But we try to do a good job cross-training all over it. But Chris has been with the company out there for about 6 years? 7 years, okay. He contracted for a couple of years. Yeah. So anyway, glad to have him. Appreciate it. Then Bill, he's another one of those go-to guys too. If we got problems with our software that supports our online systems, you learn who the go-to guys are, okay? When you have a problem, if you don't know it, you better know who to go to, right? So, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
And then, John. John Fleming is another super guy. His buddy's not here today. He took a day of vacation. Can you imagine that? But anyway, but John's, he's a great guy for our operating system. You guys know your computers, how you have your Windows 10 or Windows 7, all that. Well, on the mainframe, we have an operating system called COS. But John supports the operating system and a lot of products that run under that. Then we got Jim Rice. And Jim, we tried about a year ago, Jim? About a year ago. Jim is another guy that works on the database support. Again, trying to keep up with all the data. And we cannot lose customers' data, or protect it so it does not get vandalized and so forth. But Jim the retiree, but great knowledge. Is there anybody else I'm missing here in our group? All right. We sit down already? Y'all sit down. Let's see. If I missed anybody at the Southern Company, okay. I'm going to include them in the All right. So. All right.
What about your wife, Ricky? I don't think you mentioned.
She's special. She'll be in the room. Yeah. All right, let's see. All right, I've got three couples here. They're retirees, they're friends and co-workers, and if you and your wife would stand, Ken and Donna. Ken, you guys are Southern, because y'all know Ken, but Ken worked in many different areas, and he always did a great job. He kept us all straight. His wife Donna, she worked with my wife at preschool, and Southern Baptist preschool a lot, so they spend a lot of time together, teaching the kids and all that. So appreciate having you guys. Then Bobby Wilson and Ann. Bobby is a Georgia Power retiree. He worked in the call center. What was your last position?
Last position was the director at the customer care center over the technology.
Okay. All right. So he's been retired, what, a couple years?
4 now.
Oh, wow. So, anyway, so we're glad to have you guys with us here. And this is actually where he had his retirement thing too. That's where I got the idea. Y'all thought I was just smart or something. And then our friends and neighbor, Ronnie and his wife, Ginger. Ronnie is the guy that thought he was retiring to Georgia Power. But I knew him a good while before he retired, and he kept telling me, I'm getting close to retiring. And we was getting about ready to start a new home over close to where we live. And I said, Ryan, go ahead and retire. I need you to help me on that house. So he really ain't retired. He just changed jobs. Now that he's been a super help to us and great friends, him and Ginger. All right. So got anybody? Have I missed anyone? Have I missed anyone?
Well, Ricky, I know you said no gifts, but speaking of working on the house and retiring, I figured a new pair of work gloves might come in. And if that's not good enough, here's a sack full of cash for you.
Appreciate it.
You don't wear gloves.
All right.
You don't wear gloves.
And there's one other person I want to recognize. She's real special.
I knew that was good.
You made me special. Come on, Mimi.
By the way, she paid me to come up there and help her.
All right. This may be my retirement plaque, and it might say that I did all these years this year. Right. But this lady here had supported me all those years. She was the one. We got up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, so I can drive 40-something miles to work. She was the one that was there taking care of the kids when they had fever and had to go to the doctor. She's the one there during the weekend. I have to come to work on Saturday morning and not leave the Monday morning at work. Back in some of the hard days.
That's another story.
Yeah. But anyway, so Southern Company has benefited greatly from my wife. I'm telling you right now. So she's been my partner. So I wanted to present these to you. Thank you so much. So, Keely, that's why.
Give her a kiss, Ricky.